Watch me add a remote control to my 3D printer. Welcome to GarageMonkeySan. So I'm going to set up OctoPi, and what I have is a Raspberry Pi. I only bought a Pi 4, 1 gigabyte of RAM. Adafruit didn't have the 2 available, so got the 1 gigabyte. Hopefully it'll work with OctoPi. I think it will. Also bought one of the cases. Also bought the camera. This is the original camera, not the high resolution camera that has all the detachable lenses, etc. I think this will work fine for what I need it for. By mistake, I bought a fan. I thought I was ordering a case, but I ordered the case fan, which should help, shouldn't hurt. Also bought SD card, extended cable, and the stock Raspberry Pi power supply. I have my laptop and my card reader. So we'll get started on that. All right, so I flashed the SD card with OctoPi version 0.16. I just followed the instructions on the Raspberry Pi page. I used a software called Balena Etcher. Again, just go to the instructions on the page. So I got one of the enclosures, and now I'll just install the Raspberry Pi into the enclosure. And I think this just snaps in place, holds into place. Yeah, pretty secure. This is a pretty tough case. And then all I need to do is insert the SD card with OctoPi on it. I got the official Raspberry Pi power supply. I'm so happy they use the USB-C connector. We'll plug this in, and we'll see if I could log into the Raspberry Pi. All right. So we have OctoPi loaded into the Raspberry Pi. It's sitting behind there. And you could see that the Raspberry Pi is connected to my Prusa printer. It's a USB port, which is fed into the USB port in the Raspberry Pi. And then it's powered back by the switched power strip. After setting up OctoPi on the Raspberry Pi as a server, I logged into it, and this is what the application OctoPrint looks like. So this is what I'll use to control my 3D printer. So next, let's add the camera and the fan to the OctoPi, and we'll see how that works. All right. Next I'll install the camera, and I got a extended ribbon cable. Again, I got this all at Adafruit. I'd like to support them. And also we'll install the case fan. So first thing is to stick on the heatsink. And I'll just snap this inside the case. Those indentations help locate it. And these connectors go on the header pin. Pretty cool that they have the instructions right on the package itself. Alright, so first I'm going to connect to the extension cable. It's really long. Probably shouldn't have gotten one so long, but what you have to do is just connect it to the camera connector here. Pulls up, falls away. Got the silver side facing to the right here. that should do it. And of course, you do the same thing for the other side of the camera itself. And after we installed the Raspberry Pi camera, if you go to the Control tab, you could see the print head of the 3D printer. So as I manipulate these controls in OctoPrint, you could see the print head actually move around. So I just wanted to summarize my work process flow when using the OctoPi OctoPrint. So I'll design something in Fusion 360, and then from here I'll slice it or save it as an STL file. From there, I then open up Prusa Slicer. It's the slicer I use for my printer, and I'll import that STL. Then I'll slice the model, and that gives me a G-code. Now this can be all done from my office computer, although I'm in my workshop right now. So from there, I'll fire up my 3D printer cabinet. So I'll just turn on the cabinet, which will turn on the fan, the light, the 3D printer, and also automatically launch the OctoPi OctoPrint. So I'll wait a minute or two until the OctoPi actually launches, and then I'll go back to my browser to upload the sliced model. Alright, so now that I'm in OctoPrint, the server OctoPi has launched and it automatically connected. I'm here on my browser, and now I take that sliced model, which is in G code, and I'll upload it. So from the bottom left corner you'll see the upload button, and then I find the G code file, and you can see the file has been uploaded. From here it's just a simple matter of loading and printing the G-code file, and you can see the temperatures here start rising. The printer is actually heating up. And if I go to the control button, you could see an image of the actual printer. So when the print is done and I pull it from the bed, what I'll do is I'll get back into OctoPrint, and then I'll shut the system down. And this just closes the server. And then from there, I go back to my Smart Switch application, and I could just turn everything off. It turns off the printer, it turns off the OctoPi, and everything else in the cabinet. So that's my process for remote control 3D printing. So that pretty much does it for the cabinet for my 3D printer. Appreciate you watching. Aloha.